yeah, I'm gonna have this project on GitHub, and you can just check the link below if you just want to check out the code and you don't want to go through this video, because I'm going to try to edit this thing down, but I think it's still going to be like a long video. But let's go. So yeah, in this video, hopefully it's going to be a short one, I want to show how to use server-side pagination in Angular Material. So I noticed that there's like not so much information on server-side pagination with Angular Material on YouTube. Most of the stuff I see is for client-side pagination, which is nice, but I recently had to work on an application that like had thousands of rows, and yeah, I did some digging and I eventually found out how to do it. I mean, it's really straightforward. Install the CLI on the go. So yeah, let me just do that now. I set the package flag, and the package is going to be the Angular CLI, and I'm just going to call the ng new to create the project. So let's call it material pagination. So this is going to quickly set up the project. Oh, Angular 18 is out. That's nice. I literally just installed something yesterday and it was 17 still. It's really straightforward. What we have here is it's just going to be a simple API. I'm using .NET Core Web API for it, but it works with any API really. It doesn't really matter as long as you have the details. You can really use any technology stack you need. So it's just going to be returning like a list of dates and like temperature and summaries, like a forecast detail. This is like the example project. I just changed it a little bit just to make it a bit more straightforward and also to make it use pagination. So yeah, I'm going to be getting the page index and page size. Oh, our installation is complete, so let's open it and use npx ng add Angular. Why am I using the wrong keys? I bought a new keyboard, so like stuff is German or something. It's really weird. I guess this is going to be the latest video on YouTube if I upload it on time. I'm going to cut so much stuff. Let's just remove all of this. Just demonstrating the table, so we don't need to have all of that there. I'm going to do everything in the app component, so I don't have time to create other components. So yeah, let me go and copy the code from the website. So here, copy, and yeah, with the new Angular standalone components, you can, oh, it doesn't work for this particular component, but you can auto import it. So but let me import the module. I think it's Mat Paginator module. So module. Why are you not suggesting this to me? Come on. Right, I have to do it manually then. All right. Here we go. So we have our paginator. That shouldn't give us an error anymore. Yeah, so these are the default settings. We're going to like set it up here now. Let's I think we have to provide the HTTP client before we use it in these new versions. Alright, HTTP, because we inject the HTTP client here. HTTP clients, and yeah, import the inject function to is a fancier way of, not fancy actually, it's just a more functional approach to having dependency injections rather than using constructors. I think Angular is trying to move away from it, from the class-based components, and this is a step in the right direction in my opinion. The class can be clunky at times, so let's implement on init, and yeah, just put it here. All right. So yeah, when the app gets initiated, let's fetch the data from the API. So it's gonna be so hard to do. All right. Yeah, let's use the table here, and we'll just tweak it a little bit to match our API call. So yeah. All right. So yeah, we have to let me create an interface for the data we're getting from our API. The interface is just this, really, JavaScript. So we'll have a date, summary, temperature. So forecast DTO, dates is a, let me just use dates. Then temperature, that's the number. Then summary is summaries or summary. Okay, singular, that makes more sense. That's a string. Alright, so here we're gonna call, I'm going to get the forecast DTO. Alright, I think I skipped this step because in order to use pagination, we have to have like a consistent how would I call it, consistent data transfer object or interface that knows the total number of rows. Let me figure out what we need to know. I really should have prepared for this, but yeah, I'm gonna call a lot of stuff. So yeah, pretty much knowing the like the pagination details basically. So let's call the interface paged data. Then let's make it generic just for the fun of it. So it's going to have like a total number of rows. So total rows is going to be a number, then total pages is going to be a number too, then our data itself is going to be an array of the type that it's extends, or that's I don't even know what's the word for this stuff, the generic type, whatever. So instead of using it here, we're just gonna use it like this, paged data, then so is weather for the forecast, just that weather forecast. Here we have page index and page size, so we just have to match it. Page index. Obviously you can use any other name that makes more sense for you, but that's what I'm using here. Page size, I have not declared the page index yet, but here I'm going to do it. Page index, let's default to 1. Alright, page index, and let's use the equals here. So okay, that's our full query. Yeah, so then we can now subscribe to this, then get the response, then I can do whatever I want to do with the response here. Boom. Oh, much better. All right. So we need to create something that is going to be holding the data when we get it, and yeah, let's do that now. Let's just call it forecast. It's going to be of the type forecast DTO array. Then we initialize it with an empty array. I like doing the initialization before, you know, I rarely do this with the exclamation mark to, yeah, I rather not, honestly. You know what, let me just initialize this as 0 because I don't like having undefined, and I don't know why people avoid initializing. I think people are just so stuck with the whole class-based stuff. I don't see JavaScript as that. JavaScript is supposed to be like whatever you want to do. Yeah, so when we get the response, so we have to match everything up. So the total rows is going to be response dot total rows, then total pages. I can just wait for the stuff to infer the type, but I'm doing it this way, to be honest. I'm tired. Total pages is equals to the response total pages. What is this? What the hell? Then now we can add the forecast. That's going to be the data Alright, so now I've matched everything up and it's looking like how it should. So let's just replace everything with what we're expecting. Oh, I forgot to import the math table module, so let me quickly do that. I hope it figures it out for me. I need to set up everything. Table module, okay, did that, nice. Alright, what else? The displayed columns, I need to specify those. Yeah, it's gonna be just straightforward. Let me just do that now. Displayed columns, it's like a string array of the name of the columns that I want to display. So we have, let me just copy this and just make a string. Temperature and summary. All right. Then I assume you already know how Angular handles this, so don't let me beat the dead horse. So let me just say forecast. It's not necessary, but like doing things properly. So we have the dates, temperature, no, what the hell? Temperature, it's all right. So we're almost done with setting up the table. The last thing we have to do is to set up, to link up the API with the paginator or paginator, whatever. There are different ways to do it. You can like have like a view child sort of function to just select the paginator in the components code here, or you can just use one of the event emitters that the paginator usually has. That's what I'm going to use. So it's going to just send an output anytime you change anything. Page, here we go. So it's going to send an event out. So let's call this handle paging. Then we'll get the events and use that as the argument. So let's have the method here, handle paging. The handle paging event sends like a page info event, which is like a page event here. So that has like the details about what the current page is. So it has page info. Let's check what it has. It has the page length, the total number of rows of the data that is being stored. It has the page index, page size, and previous index. So I think you can see where this is going. It has two things that we're going to use to make the API call, which is the page index and page size. So all we have to do is just find a way to trigger the API call whenever these two change, and most times it's going to be the index we're going to be focused on. So yeah, let's quickly do that now. And yeah, let me just quickly do that. So ideally this should be wrapped up in a function where you just pass it, and yeah, so that it can constantly call the API. But yeah, I should probably do that now. Let me do that now because it makes more sense. Because let me just wrap it up in a method. Let's say get forecast, then we'll call. So page index number and page size number. Right, so let's just drop this in and let's just delete this. Right, so instead of doing that, we can just get forecasts, and we actually don't need these two here, to be honest. So we can just do this dot, oh god, get forecasts. So the default page index is page 1 and the default page size is 10. Why is this not formatting? Something is wrong. Oh, okay. And just alright, so it's much cleaner here. So we know what the page info is getting for us, so we can just call the method to get forecast. Let's get forecasts, then page info dot index, page info dot page size, and yeah, so this, we don't need to have these two here anymore, obviously, because now we don't need, yeah, I think it's an optional property. Yeah, we don't need to have the page size here because you have the page size options to pick from. But for the pagination, it'd probably be nice to have like the page index as something that we can set. So page index equals to we actually don't even need the page index to, you know what, we'll run it and see what we need and what we don't need. But okay, so let's just figure it out. So when we call this, it's going to set our total rows, and we passed into the paginator. Then when we call this, it's also going to do the same thing. Go to the paginator, then I think the paginator tracks its page index and page size even when you don't tell it to. It does, so we don't need to pass those in. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let me run the code and hopefully everything is running smoothly, but yeah, you never know. Sometimes I literally did this in the blind, which is not a good tutorial, but I'm going to have to cut and chop a lot of things. Something is wrong. Public class page data same generic. It's so surprising how similar C# and JavaScript are. Like it's crazy. It's really crazy that you can just read both code bases and understand what is going on most times without having to think too much. So what I'm doing is just pretty much matching the DTOs on the server to where you already knows what I want to do. That's brilliant. Public. I used to have co-pilots, but I don't know. For someone that was just I don't think it was the best thing for me then. So now I'm going to return the right thing this time. Oh my god. Paged data, then I can say page data of forecast DTO, and total pages. I need to get the total of this. Yeah. Yeah, I need to do forecast.count. So it's going to be 30 anyway, but let me just use 30 for now, because we know the range, it ranges from 1 to 30. This is not going to be in the video. I don't know why I'm saying anything here. Total rows is 30 divided by 10. Oh, let me just say page size. Total rows is 30. Then data is the forecast here. That's the problem. Okay, I use list here. It should be an array. Why is this thing fucking with me right now? Alright, voila, finally we have our table. So I mean, it's not the prettiest looking table, but we can see that our pagination is working. And to confirm that it's working, if you look at the network tab, see that, so it's going straight to the database to fetch the data, and this way you don't have to load a bunch of data. This is a very simple example, and it probably makes sense to just load everything on the client. For this 30 rows is not nothing, but imagine you have like 50,000 rows with more complex data. You surely don't want to load everything up on startup. So yeah, this is a much better way of doing it. And yeah, there you have it.